Continuing from the previous episode 1295. Tisk tisk tisk. This guy named Xiao Yan is too terrifying. With the man in black directly being severely injured by Xiao Yan, he also lost a huge price to his right arm. At this time, no one dared to underestimate Xiao. Inflammation. After all, the guy who fought with him was a genuine late-stage 2-star Do Xian powerhouse. This Xiao Yan was able to defeat the man in black with his strength in the early 2-star Do Xian stage. Naturally, he did not rely on luck, but on strength. Since the competition is over, let's go back first. Xiao Yan and Duan Tianfeng looked at each other, and then said to Yu Ran. Needless to say, Xiao Yan knew that Du Tianfeng would definitely come to him at night to ask about the man in black, so it was better to leave as soon as possible. Yes. Yu Ran's worries were relieved immediately, and she smiled slightly. The two had a friendly conversation with Du Tianfeng, and then returned to the mountain range where they rested through the space formation. Just after returning to the mountain range, Yu Ran was separated from Xiao Yan. After all, her sister was left alone at home. She was more or less worried about being an older sister. The people of the Soul Clan. Since they came to this upper plane, there has been very little news about them. What kind of existence are they? Xiao Yan thought slightly in his house, and then went quiet. In the barren competitive mountain range, the battle between the top 100 and the top 50 lasted from morning to afternoon, and all the competitions were completed. The speed was astonishing. The night in the Thunder Realm is always bleak. Gululu. A certain void in the house where Xiao Yan lived, suddenly wriggled strangely, and a crack slowly emerged. At this time, Xiao Yan sat cross-legged. Hee, little guy. The next moment, a figure appeared in the wooden house quietly and smiled at Xiao Yan. The person who came was the third master of the forging knife, Thunder Valley, who was in charge of the competition in the barren competitive mountain range. Mr. Forging. Seeing this, Xiao Yan seemed to have expected it. Without the slightest surprise, he got up slightly. Not much nonsense, you should know why I came to you, right? Duan Tianfeng asked with a smile, but invisibly, the oppression of the 4-star fighting immortal made Xiao Yan's breathing quicker. Stand up. It's because of the guy who fought with me today. Xiao Yan replied. Good. The guy who fought with you today has a special identity. Duan Tianfeng said slowly. This guy is probably from the Ghost Kingdom or the Soul Clan of the human world. I don't know why he entered the East Continent. I'm afraid he has some plans against our East Continent. Xiao Yan shook his head and said. I don't see that your kid knows a lot. After Xiao Yan said this, Duan Tianfeng was slightly surprised. Because the powerhouses of the Ghost Kingdom and the people of the Soul Clan in the human world are too mysterious, very few people know their information, but Xiao Yan in front of him actually knows it, which makes Du Tianfeng quite surprised. I've planted a flame mark in that guy's body. With his power, he won't be able to find it in a short time. Xiao Yan spoke slowly. So good. Now that he has been eliminated, he is no longer qualified to stay in the Thunder Realm. I am afraid there will be a big move. I hope the little brother can help us at that time. Duan Tianfeng said with a smile. Master Duan is joking. I'm a small 2-star Do Xian early stage, but I can't help you too much. After all, according to my perception, this guy probably carries something similar to a space scroll. And he is also maybe just a scapegoat. Samsung fighting immortals or even stronger ones. If I participate rashly, I'm afraid there will be no scum left. Xiao Yan said directly. Tisk tisk tisk. You guy, you are really timid. Do you know who you are talking to now? Duan Tianfeng's expression became ugly when he heard the words, and the strength of the 4-star fighting immortals was undoubtedly on display. Puff puff. The tyrannical sense of oppression poured out directly into the entire wooden house, making Xiao Yan like a great enemy, but Xiao Yan resisted with all his strength and did not kneel down, which made Du Tianfeng quite puzzled. After all, the strength of the two of them is completely 2 steps apart. Senior, if it weren't for my help, I'm sure you would never find that guy. Xiao Yan endured the tyrannical oppression and said word by word. Don't worry, this time I'm going to lay a long line and catch a big fish. If you help us forge the Thunder Valley, we will naturally not treat you badly. The next moment, Duo Tianfeng directly withdrew his oppression, and said calmly. Today just finished the top 100 and advanced to the top 50. The remaining top 50 will advance to the top 25, and it will start in 10 days. The 10 days are for the first time to give the contestants a good rest, and the second is to lead this mysterious guy to reveal the hidden power behind him. So as to catch everything. Duan Tianfeng said, "Well, I will pay attention. Once that guy makes any move, I will notify you as soon as possible." Xiao Yan said, he also knew the importance of this matter, and he vaguely felt that this time, it would probably be a big move by the Soul Clan. "If that's the case, then I won't disturb your rest. But I have to tell you solemnly that the powerhouse involved in this battle is too powerful, far beyond what you can handle now, so don't go alone. You are now a 4th grade heavenly pharmacist of the immortal rank, and your achievements in the future will definitely be limitless." Before leaving, Dian Tianfeng did not forget to instruct him. "Junior knows," Xiao Yan promised softly, making the 4-star Do Xian strong so solemn, which is enough to show that this time, the 4-star Do Xian might be involved in this battle, and after Xiao Yan used Sheng Yan, the limit was it is only able to deal with the 3-star fighting immortal in front of him. As for the 4-star fighting immortal, for the current Xiao Yan, it is undoubtedly a thorny thorn. Gululu. As soon as the voice fell, Du Tianfeng's figure disappeared slowly. There should be some unique treasure in this Thunder Valley of forged knives, otherwise it won't attract people from the Ghost Kingdom and the Soul Clan at the same time. The next moment, the voice of the Soul Eater also slowly filled the air. "Ghost Kingdom and Soul Clan?" Xiao Yan said, slightly surprised when he heard this. "These are two forces. The Ghost Kingdom is controlled by the ghost spirit of the Ghost World, and its attack methods and behavior are different from those of the Soul Clan, but the Soul Clan's attack method is mainly soul locks, specializing in hunting souls, and their behavior is extremely low-key. But when I still didn't fall, I found out that these two forces seem to have a very close cooperation in secret." The Soul Eater said, his voice was full of strangeness. The overall strength of Ghost Kingdom is naturally inferior to Soul Eater, but because they are too mysterious and low-key, even the Lord of Soul Eater knows very little. It seems that this time, there should be a lot of information that we want to know. Xiao Yan spoke slowly. "Don't worry, the mere 4-star fighting immortal, I don't even care about it. Even if it is a 5-star fighting immortal, now I still have the power to fight. Golden Dragon King, this master promised you something, but he will not break his promise. After Xiao Yan leaves the ghost world, I will let you know that Xiao Yan taught by me is enough to shock you." He. The Soul Eater spoke slowly with a voice that could only be heard by himself. Continuing from the previous episode 1296. With the end of the top 100 advancing to the top 50, the entire mountain range has also quieted down. Obviously, the remaining 50 strong people are also trying to grasp the information they have obtained during the 10 days of rest, so as to be able to the top 9 places in the promotion are bound to be won. And this time, in the blink of an eye, 5 days have passed. In 5 days, the two daughters Yu Ran and Yu Wei also lived their lives out of the simple dwelling. Obviously, they were also carefully preparing for the rest of the competition. As for Xiao Yan, while meditating, he waited for the movement of the man in black. In the middle of the night on the 5th day, Xiao Yan, who was standing quietly on the bed, suddenly opened his eyes and murmured, "After 5 days, can you finally bear it?" Xiao Yan smiled slightly, and it was obvious that the fire-heart Tianyan flame that was entrusted in the body of the man in black was moving slowly. "Let's go." Xiao Yan didn't stop there either. A black robe directly covered his body completely, then gently pushed open the door, and chased after the man in black according to the flame he left behind. Through a specific soul power, Duan Tianfeng told him. In an attic outside the barren arena, 2 figures slowly appeared here. One of them is Du Tianfeng, and the other is the city lord of Licheng. Duanqi Fananazi left the Thunder Valley of Forging Blades. I'm afraid she has come to the Thunder Realm. Duan Tianfeng was the first to speak. How could Lu Qing be fooling around with her? If there is anything wrong with the two of them, I'm afraid we... A trace of concern could not help but emerge from the hungry face of Licheng City Lord Junsho. Because Du Qifei is the future heir of the entire Thunder Valley, and Lu Qing is also a noble and terrifying figure in the Holy See. If something happens to the two of them, I'm afraid the two of them won't be able to eat and walk around. Don't worry, although no trace of them has been found for the time being, neither of them are vegetarians. Moreover, the Thunder Valley of Forging Knives is heavily guarded, so the two of them can escape easily. I'm afraid it is the intention of the owner of the valley. Duan Tianfeng said with a smile. Valley Lord. City Lord Lei heard the words and was relieved. Crash! The next moment, while the two were still talking, a silent soul force slowly came to Du Tianfeng. What is this? City Lord Lei frowned. Looks like that guy can't stand it anymore. Let's go, let's take a look together. After Duan Tianfeng finished speaking, the two figures instantly turned into black shadows and disappeared above the attic. At night in the Thunder Realm, the wind was gloomy and cold, and the man in black had been quite cautious since he left the Living Mountain range. After confirming that no one was following him, he faced a cliff outside the Living Mountain range. And go! This cliff is on the edge of the mountain range where the contestants live, so it is quite hidden. In addition, it is night, so it is sparsely populated. It seems that no one found my figure. The man in black came straight to the cliff, then leaned on a rock beside the cliff, and said slightly, Xiao Yan, little bastard, this time our Soul Clan must make all of you in the East Continent go to pieces. Then I will naturally want you to die, in order to avenge my broken arm. The man in black looked at the edge of his sleeve. The empty air, angry. Let's start. Report the information here, so that adults and the guys from the Ghost Kingdom can discuss a solution together. The man in black said, Gula Gulu. The next moment, the black-clothed man's hand was incomparably pitch black, and on the scroll, a trace of tiny runes slowly wriggled, as terrifying as a worm. Gulu. After a while, the scroll was in front of him, slowly forming a cloud of black mist, and through this black mist, Xiao Yan felt a deadly threat. Wing Om. It seemed that he realized that the dark mist was too sinister and evil, and the clan lines on Xiao Yan's forehead exuded a trace of gentle power, nourishing Xiao Yan, and Xiao Yan felt better just now. Soul Mist, you summoned this seat, but what you told you to do? The evil black group just appeared, and suddenly turned into a hideous evil ghost face, and asked the man in black. My lord, I have already found out what you ordered me to do. This is the distribution map of Forged Knife Thunder Valley, Thunder City and Thunder World. The man in black said respectfully. After speaking, a scroll slowly appeared in his hand, and there was a trace of thunder around the scroll. This thing was obviously Forged Knife Thunder. How can the things in the valley be in the hands of this guy? The entrance to the Thunder Valley of Forged Knives is mysterious, and there are many organs in the valley, not to mention the Thunder Realm, so if there is no accurate information, even the strong souls will not dare to attack rashly. Okay, you did very well. For the rest, our Soul Clan will discuss with the powerhouses of the Ghost Kingdom. This time, Dongzhou, there must be no need to exist. Su. The strange black air slowly let out a frantic laughter. With this thing, plus the strength of the two of them, it is no problem to level the entire Dongzhou. As soon as the laughter fell, the scroll that recorded the secrets inside the Thunder Valley of the Forging Knife was swallowed directly by the black air scroll and disappeared. Respectfully send your lord. The man in black said respectfully after finishing all this. The next moment, the black air instantly turned into nothingness, condensed into a scroll, and when it returned to the hands of the man in black, it seemed as if nothing had happened in the space here. How could this guy have such a thing? How could a strong man in the late 2-star Do Xian get this thing from the Thunder Valley of Forged Swords, which is like a cloud of strong men? Xiao Yan wondered. It seems that the Forging Knife Thunder Valley has a lot of ambition. The scroll of UU reading link to www.ukanshu.com is clearly obtained by their deliberate negligence so that the man in black can get it. I am afraid it is really a long line to catch a big fish. The Soul Clan, the Kingdom of Ghosts, plus a sin, the three forces unite to deal with them. I don't know who will win this final victory. The Lord of Soul Eater laughed. I hope Dongzhou won't be so vulnerable. Xiao Yan shook his head gently, then stopped talking, staring at the man in black. It was obvious that the man in black was about to leave here, and Duan Tianfeng had not arrived yet, so Xiao Yan had to stop the man in black before Duan Tianfeng arrived. Sister Lu Qing, here and here. We climbed up from here and arrived at the Thunder Realm's territory. Competitions are all in the Thunder World. A silver bell-like voice slowly came from under the cliff, and then two shadows quietly clinged to the cliffs below the cliff and climbed upwards. Daughter of Forged Thunder Valley Master Du Qifei? It seems that this time, God won't help you. Ha ha ha. The man in black burst out laughing, apparently knowing the identity of the woman in just an instant, and then the speed skyrocketed, facing the fatal attack, facing the two women who were climbing the ropes to the cliff. Go! The man in black is naturally an intelligence spy. Naturally, he is too familiar with the high-level figures in the Thunder Valley, so he recognized Du Qifei at a glance. At this moment, Du Qifei and Lu Qing obviously did not realize that a crisis was slowly approaching them both. Continuing from the previous episode 1297. Damn. And Xiao Yan's soul power was huge enough, so he naturally discovered Lu Qing's breath and a rather unfamiliar breath under the cliff. Not to mention the unfamiliar aura for the time being, but it vaguely made Xiao Yan feel uneasy for a while. I'm afraid that this woman's identity and strength are extremely good. At this time, Xiao Yan didn't have time to wonder why Lu Qing was here. His speed soared, and he took off the ancient ruler behind him and attacked the man in black. At this time, both Lu Qing and Duo Qifei were climbing up the ropes under the cliff, and it was night. The two of them relied on a trace of light to move forward. In addition, there was obviously a tyrannical prohibition under the cliff, and they could not use any fighting spirit. Therefore, if their two daughters were hit by a man in black, it would be extremely dangerous. Lu Qing, there are enemies, be careful. Seeing that his speed was too late, Xiao Yan hurriedly shouted at the front of the cliff. Ah! Lu Qing's soul strength is not weak, and he is about to break through to the fairyland. In addition to the familiarity with Xiao Yan's breath, he just heard the voice and immediately recognized Xiao Yan's voice without any hesitation. Qifei retreated towards the bottom of the rope. Sister Lu Qing, what are you doing? I'm leaving here soon. Duan Qifei snorted in dissatisfaction, but her delicate body was still taken down by Lu Qing. Before Du Qifei's voice fell, the place where the two of them had just climbed up the rope suddenly shattered and opened. The shattering was like an instant annihilation, leaving no trace. Seeing this, Duo Qifei couldn't help taking a deep breath. If it wasn't for Sister Lu Qing taking her down, I'm afraid she would have already reached the position she just destroyed, and she will be destroyed by then. The intensity of the destruction is not something the two of them can handle. Su, little chops. You're following me? Seeing that his attack was destroyed, the man in black couldn't help turning back and shouting at the figure behind him. This attack obviously consumed a lot of his strength. With just such a glance, Lu, the man in black, immediately recognized Xiao Yan. It's been a long time since you were with you. Xiao Yan said nonchalantly, with the blessing of the flames above the black robe. Xiao Yan was naturally not afraid of the ghostly energy of the man in black. Even though the man in black recognized Xiao Yan, he was not afraid. Boy, I haven't had time to settle the matter with you. You brought it here by yourself. The man in black looked at Xiao Yan and said viciously. Your identity seems to be a bit special. Xiao Yan smiled slightly. No matter what the man in black was, today, he would definitely not be able to escape. Today, take your fall to pay homage to the great feat of our soul clan. Su. After the man in black finished speaking, he didn't chase after the two girls under the cliff, but turned into a cloud of black smoke and shot at Xiao Yan. Come up quickly. I'll deal with this person. Looking at the man in black who was whistling, Xiao Yan took the time to say something to the two women below. Peefed. With a sound, the two women immediately followed the rope to the top of the cliff. Hoo. As soon as she came to the top of the cliff, Du Qifei immediately began to breathe. Obviously, the shocking scene just now, coupled with the fact that climbing the ropes consumed a lot of strength, made her quite unbearable. Xiao Yan, I knew you were all right. Lu Qing said with a smile as soon as she arrived on the cliff. Her heart was slightly relieved. Otherwise, if something happened to Xiao Yan, she would be more or less uncomfortable. The next moment, the two girls looked into the starry sky, and a cloud of black smoke and Xiao Yan's whole body suddenly collided with the fiery red flames. Bang bang bang. The hot fire wave directly burned the black smoke formed by the man in black. Damn! What kind of flame is this? How can it burn my fighting spirit and soul power? The man in black couldn't help but let out a loud shout, and then his figure quickly retreated. In the Great Thousand World, the branches of the Soul Clan are everywhere, but the Soul Clan has some unique fighting spirit. Their fighting spirit is different from that of ordinary people, so the people of the Soul Clan call their fighting spirit soul power. And this kind of soul power is stronger than ordinary fighting chi and fighting immortal power. In the final analysis, its formation is impressively extracted from soul power. This guy's fighting spirit is a bit weird. Only in the first round of the real fight did Xiao Yan realize that the black smoke like smoke on the man in black was actually some kind of special power. This power is more powerful than the powerhouses of the Soul Clan he has encountered before. If Xiao Yan's fire attribute fighting Qi was not baptized by the holy flame, it would be difficult to burn it. Su. 3 soul chains. The next moment, the man in black did not give Xiao Yan any chance to breathe, and in the black mist, 3 terrifying chains that were full of cold light appeared directly. Fall for me. On top of the 3 chains, with a burst of small eerie runes, under the control of the man in black, they directly attacked Xiao Yan. The sharp part actually caused the starry sky to emerge. Fantastic. Call. The 4th finger of the sky and the 2nd finger. Break the sky. A majestic voice slowly emerged from Xiao Yan's mouth, and then Xiao Yan's fire attribute grudge filled the entire starry sky. The next moment, all the flames in the starry sky suddenly converged on Xiao Yan. With his fingertips, Xiao Yan's eyes were indifferent. He raised his palm, his index finger stuck out, and gently tapped towards the man in black. Shabu. With a seemingly random finger, a tyrannical flaming giant finger directly attacked the 3 chains, which contained the destructive power that was enough to shatter the starry sky. Bang bang bang. As soon as the 2 attacked, bursts of vibrations emanated directly from the center of the battle, and even the chain was attacked by the giant flame finger, and a trace of cracks continued to emerge. Little bastard. Seeing this, the man in black roared with rage, and then, regardless of the rest, the tyrannical soul power of his body was poured into it, and the light above the 3 chains would be even brighter. Don't think that you will inject power. Huoxin Tianyan. When Xiao Yan saw this, he didn't dare to hold back. After all, the soul power on this guy was extraordinary. Boom boom boom. The raging fire was vented directly from Xiao Yan's body, and then like a tide, it was injected directly into the flame finger. Crack. With a sound, in the starry sky, the stalemate attacked like a rock, but it collapsed under the injection of Xiao Yan Shengen. Peefed. Seeing this, Hai's heart trembled, a mouthful of black blood spurted out suddenly, and then his body lost its breath, and he flew upside down towards the bushes under the cliff. Cough cough. Xiao Yan also waved his hand, and directly slowly dissipated the remaining energy fluctuations in the starry sky, and went down to find the man in black. The khaki flame this guy just used is probably a kind of holy flame. At this time, Du Tianfeng and Lei Chengju, who were hiding in the dark, said solemnly, Sheng Yan, this kind of thing only exists in the hands of the most powerful people in the Great Thousand World. How can they not be shocked by seeing it with their own eyes? Continuing from the previous episode 1298. Because of some delay on the way, I'm actually late, but Xiao Yan, this kid, whether in terms of strength or talent, is probably beyond the reach of people. City Lord Lei sighed. Obviously, this guy Xiao Yan is hiding too deep, and he can actually defeat the man in black with one's own strength. This is what Lei City Lord and the others did not expect. Let's go down too. After Duan Tianfeng finished speaking, he went directly to the cliff, where the 2 shadows looked beautiful against the starry sky. Sister Lu Qing, this guy, so strong. Rao Yi Duan Qifei was extremely picky and arrogant. After seeing Xiao Yan directly defeating the man in black just now, he also had a strong feeling for Xiao Yan. Strong fighting spirit. Shi Du Qifei is not the eldest young lady like other families. She has been gifted in martial arts since childhood. The tyrannical opponents that Dao Ligu Valley Master found were all defeated by Du Qifei. It can be seen that this guy is not only beautiful, but his strength should not be underestimated. Qifei, what a coincidence. The next moment, Lu Qing and Duo Qifei looked at Xiao Yan in the bushes, but naturally they didn't notice Duan Tianfeng and City Lord Lei. After coming behind him, he opened his mouth slightly, and his voice was full of reproach. Du Qifei heard the words, but felt that the voice seemed a little familiar, and then turned her head slightly. 5. Fifth brother. As soon as he turned his head, as if he had seen a monster, his face became extremely ugly, and he called out reluctantly. The 3rd master, Qifei is. And Lu Qing also turned his head slightly, looking at Duan Tianfeng's angry eyes. He couldn't help defending him. Lu Qing, you are my honored guest from the Thunder Valley, but Qifei can't follow you like this. Duan Tianfeng said with a serious face and righteous words. 5th brother, I beg you, Don't tell my father about this. Duan Qifei was also a clever ghost. Seeing that Duan Tianfeng didn't mean to do anything, he ran over directly. He held Duan Tianfeng's sleeve with his jade hand and swayed from side to side, as if coquettish in general. In the past, Du Qifei also escaped from the Thunder Valley of Forging Blades, but every time he was found, he was arrested without saying a word, and this time he found that he escaped, but he didn't do anything, so Du Qifei knew that there was a drama. You are the future of our knife forging Thunder Valley. If you make a mistake, how can we explain it to the big brother? Du Tianfeng couldn't help saying. The 5 stewards of the forging knife Ligu, the chief and deputy chiefs, and 1, 2, 3, and 3 heads of the family. The 5 people have an extremely friendly relationship. They are friends of Mo Ni, so they are brothers. Therefore, the 3 heads of Tianfeng are naturally forged Qifei's 5th brother. 5th brother, don't worry. I've learned a lot, and I won't be ashamed of our sword forging Thunder Valley. Du Qifei couldn't help laughing when she saw the 5th brother being so good at talking. Shabu Shabu, Master Duan Tianfeng, you guys are a little late this time. Xiao Yan came back from a distance, a fiery red grudge in his hand, surrounding the figure of the man in black. How is this guy? City Lord Lei asked. You still have 1 breath. Xiao Yan smiled. You still have to participate in the competition, leave these matters to us. Duan Tianfeng said, and then took the man in black from Xiao Yan's hand, and found that he really still had a breath. The distribution map of the Forged Blade Thunder Valley, Thunder Realm, and Lei City has already been spread by him. Xiao Yan said in a low voice. It's within the plan. Duan Tianfeng winked at Xiao Yan and said slowly. Tisk tisk tisk. Xiao Yan was relieved upon hearing this. 5th brother, this guy is. Du Qifei, who was beside him, looked at Duan Tianfeng and Xiao Yan like close friends, and couldn't help but wonder. You must know that her 5th brother, Duan Tianfeng, is usually unsmiling, but now this appearance is really rare. He. Let me introduce you. This is the contestant of this competition, Xiao Yan. Don't think that his strength is only a 2-star douche accident, but behind his back is a pharmacist of the 4th rank of immortal rank, and his combat power is extremely terrifying. Duan Tianfeng said with a smile. Immortal rank 4th grade pharmacist? Duan Qifei heard the words, and then began to look at Xiao Yan carefully. Xiao Yan's age is almost the same as hers. At such an age, he can reach the 4th rank of immortal rank heaven rank alchemist, which is enough to show the terrifying strength and talent of this guy, and his future achievements are limitless. Duan Qifei saw a huge black heavy ruler behind Xiao Yan. The black heavy ruler contained extremely tyrannical oppression, and Xiao Yan's deep eyes and rather handsome face made Duan Qifei slightly surprised. This is the young master of my sword forging Thunder Valley master, Du Qifei. Du Tianfeng also introduced with a smile. It's actually the young master. Xiao Yan was a little surprised when he heard the words. He obviously did not expect that this woman was actually the daughter of the master of the Thunder Valley. I saw Du Qifei's 3,000 blue silk hanging down, big watery eyes, white skin that could be broken by blows, and her slender figure, which was quite eye-catching. This is Lu Qing, a guest of our knife forging Thunder Valley. The next moment, Duan Tianfeng introduced. He and we've known each other for a long time. Lu Qing couldn't help smiling softly when she heard this. It's really been a long time. Xiao Wenyan suddenly laughed. You guy, you are really lucky. Lu Qing said with a smile. At that time, the situation was urgent, there was no way. Xiao Yan scratched his head and said softly. The competition for the top 25 will begin in a few days, so you can rest well these few days. Qifei, Lu Qing, if you want to participate in the competition, then start directly from the 2nd stage. Duan Tianfeng looked at the 3 young people in front of him and couldn't help saying. Thank you 5th brother. Du Qifei couldn't help being overjoyed when she heard this. We still have important things to do. We have to go back first. You should also pay attention. City Lord Lei did not forget to instruct before he left. Yes. The 3 of Xiao Yan also looked at each other and nodded. As for the men in black from the Soul Clan, the scope of involvement is obviously too wide, so it is more safe to leave it to Forge Blade Lei Gu to deal with it than Xiao Yan's own interrogation. Hoo. As soon as the voice fell, Du Tianfeng and City Lord Lei left with the man in black, apparently preparing to interrogate the man in black. Let's go too. Otherwise, the battle here won't be good if Yu Bo attracts other people. Xiaoyan said. Yes. Lu Qing and Duo Qifei nodded slightly, then followed Xiaoyan and went directly back to the mountain where the contestants lived. They found a place at will, and the two girls settled down. But the people who forged the Thunder Valley did not know that this time the conspiracy was not only of the Soul Clan and the Ghost Kingdom, but also the participation of the Force of Sin. I am afraid that storm is coming soon. Continuing from the previous episode 1299. 10 days passed in a flash. Today is the day for the top 25 to advance. On this day, Xiaoyan got up early, pushed open the door, and walked towards the place where Yu Ran lived. Dong dong dong. A soft knock knocked on the door of the wooden house where the two women lived. Squeak. The door was gently pushed open, but Yu Wei was not seen, only Yu Ran was seen. Today's rainy days seem to be very different from those of the past. A well-prepared ruse skirt highlights the figure incisively and vividly, and even the body is just, an elegant fragrance wafts to the nostrils, and the carefully prepared makeup looks extremely beautiful. Let's go. Yu Ran smiled slightly, then closed the door. Yu Ran naturally knew that it was impossible for her and Xiaoyan, but girls naturally love beauty. Even if it is impossible to have the future, it is also a good choice to cherish the present. Yes. Xiaoyan nodded, and then the two of them walked towards the space teleportation formation. Hey, isn't this Xiaoyan? Lu Qing and Du Qifei also got up early this day, in order to go to see the first stage of the competition, and the two girls also disguised themselves and looked like two girls. A man with a dash of femininity. Where? Lu Qing didn't want to come, but she couldn't stand Qifei's constant grinding, so she agreed to follow her to the deserted competitive mountain range to see the fighting style of other strong men. That woman. Lu Qing's beautiful eyes flickered slightly, watching Xiaoyan and a woman walking towards the space formation all the way, talking and laughing along the way, and couldn't help showing a trace of jealousy. Let's go too. With a cold snort, the two girls immediately followed, heading towards the barren competitive mountain range. Wang buzzing. In just a few minutes, everyone gathered at the periphery of the barren competitive mountain range, waiting for the start of the competition. Lu Qing? Duan Qifei? Xiaoyan just looked up and glanced at the crowd, and suddenly found a figure that Ergu had only seen a few days ago. Xiaoyan's huge soul power gave Xiaoyan an unforgettable memory, so no matter what Lu Qing or no matter how the girl hides it, she can't escape Xiaoyan's sharp eyes, not to mention the two women's cover-up methods are extremely clumsy, even ordinary people can't deceive. What's wrong? Yu Ran asked slightly. It's okay, I met two acquaintances. Xiaoyan said with a smile. Would you like to go over and say hello? Yu Ran asked. No need, the competition is about to start, so let's concentrate on dealing with it. After all, this competition is not that easy. Xiaoyan said. Boom. Xiaoyan's voice just fell. Suddenly, in the center of the barren competitive mountain range, a void slowly wriggled, and then the figure of forging Tianfeng slowly emerged. Today is the competition for the top 25. But there is some bad news to tell you. Du Tianfeng just appeared, and his coercive voice immediately permeated the entire arena, accompanied by his tyrannical aura. What's the news? Hearing the words of the strong players participating in the competition, they couldn't help but look at each other, and a trace of unease appeared in their hearts. Due to special reasons, in the first stage of the competition, only the top 9 can qualify for the 4 continents ratio. Duan Tianfeng spoke softly, his voice full of unquestionable majesty. Damn, it's just that the guess is correct. It seems that the only one missing, I am afraid it was occupied by the inside of the Forging Knife Thunder Valley. Let the Knife Forging Thunder Valley, who has always been fair and strict, do this. I'm afraid that guy has made a very outstanding contribution to the entire Knife Forging Thunder Valley. The figures present couldn't help but say what you said. Stunned, Du Qifei and Lu Qing, who had just arrived in the arena, couldn't help but look at each other when they heard the words. Obviously, this only place was given directly to Lu Qing. After all, the main body of the Sword Forging Thunder Valley has been tortured by the power of the Foreign Evil Clan, and Lu Qing, as a high-level disciple of the Holy See, has a good identity and strength. In addition to cultivating the light system, he has a lot of influence on the Foreign Evil Clan. Because of tyrannical restraint, so to suppress the evil for the master of the Forged Knife Thunder Valley, I just changed to such a place. It seems that after this first stage of the competition, I have to find Xiao Yan again to see if I can borrow Sheng Yan. After all, only Sheng Yan can completely expel the things on Gu Master's body. Duan Tianfeng couldn't help but said, "Since everyone has no objection, let's start the top 25 promotion." "Come on, drawing lots," Dushan said, still floating in the competitive mountain range. Boom! As Du Tianfeng's voice just fell, a huge wooden box suddenly appeared. This time, the wooden box is different from the past. It uses an extremely tyrannical soul power to isolate it. It can only rely on luck to draw lots in the most primitive way, and cannot use other powers. Forged Dao Lei Gu did this to ensure the fairness of the game. After all, it was this time, and the rest were some strong players. Blue number 2. Naturally, Xiao Yan didn't worry too much. He directly raised the knife and dropped his hand, and immediately got his own competition order. "I'm blue number 1. Yu Ran's jade hand flickered slightly and smiled at Xiao Yan. The remaining powerhouses are basically guys whose strength exceeds the early stage of the 2-star fighting immortal, and even most of them are in the middle stage of the 2-star fighting immortal. Blue number 1 versus white number 1. 2 players, please enter." Du Tianfeng's voice sounded, and he immediately exited the competitive mountain range and came to the periphery to take charge of the order of the competition. "Be careful," Xiao Yan instructed. "Don't worry, I'm a little bit stronger than you think." After Yu Ran finished speaking, she flew directly into the competitive mountain range, ready to start fighting. The two had just poured into the competitive mountain range, immediately suspended above the mountain range. There was no rush to make a move. "Hey, she's actually a little beauty. It really surprised me." The one who fought against Yu Ran was the Bingling of the Ice Soul Hall among the 8 major forces in Licheng. "Stop talking nonsense, or show your real strength, otherwise," Yu Ran said to Bingling from a height below 0. The strengths of Yu Ran and Bingling are both in the late stage of the 2-star fighting immortals. They have the same strength, the only difference is their attributes. The rushing rain is of the wind attribute, while the ice mausoleum is of the ice attribute. It is hard to say which is stronger or weaker. Wouldn't it be a pity if such an attractive little beauty was obliterated by me? It's not that you admit defeat as soon as possible and become a second-room girl for me, so that I can destroy flowers. A hint of evil appeared on Bingling's face. "Shameless child, die. Wind Eagle Bunch." Being provoked like this, Yu Ran was not at all displeased, but instead of talking nonsense with Bingling, she directly launched a tyrannical attack. The cyan vindictive chi slowly formed around his body, and circles of cyan hurricanes about 100 feet in size suddenly emerged in the void, and a hawk croak continued to resound over the mountains. "Go!" The next moment, under Yu Ran's subtle control, the cyan hurricane turned into a 100-meter-sized eagle, whizzing away at the ice mausoleum. The momentum was so strong that it actually stimulated the space with a sound. The sound of breaking wind.